So we've talked a lot there about the developers and the DLP and all the pre-handover inspections. So do you find also, because you mentioned particularly in North America, do you find that you have a lot of people, potentially buyers in Dubai, resale properties that they are purchasing and they want to do that condition report as part of their purchase contract? You got any sort of clients that do that?
Definitely, but as I said, if we're talking about resale, buying a used property, the percentage is way less. We get a lot, but it's way less than pre-handover, which, as I said, completely the opposite of the other side of the world, which is in North America. Yeah. We get in numbers. We did the calculation, a year ago actually. Our business in Canada, for instance, it's 92% resale homes and 8% is coming from pre-handover. Here, it's completely the other way around. I think it ended up to be 94% pre-handover and 5% resale home. Okay. Why? Because as I mentioned, the pre-handover directly from the developer, usually it has a lot of issues. Some, the finishing is not as immaculate as in North America. So even cosmetic issues. So when we go to pre-handover, the difference between the inspection and pre-handover and resale is in pre-handover, basically in any inspection, we focus on what we call MEP, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing. Mechanical being air condition, but not only the operation, we go deeper, not only the operation of the air condition, but we look at the ducting system that is embedded in these false ceilings. Do we have any air leaks? Because air leaks can cause condensation. Condensation causes to water droplets. Over time, it will create mold, for instance. So we look for air leaks in the duct. We look for condensation. We look for the efficiency of the air condition. Is it cooling properly? So we measure the temperature. We take scan using thermal imaging and so on and so forth. So that's the mechanical, MEP. It's a very common term. Mechanical. Electrical is, as I mentioned earlier, we check all the electrical safety hazard that could possibly happen, make sure that the house is safe for the occupants. And plumbing, all the plumbing fixtures, in all the bathrooms and kitchen. So MEP is the number one. Structural, usually it's applicable to villas as opposed to apartment buildings, because any villa being built
standalone,
it settles, and it's a normal civil engineering practice that the foundation will settle at one point in time, usually in the first year when it was built. So settlement is allowed with a specific limit. Sometimes the differential settlement between the footing is large enough that it will cause structural cracks. So we check for the structure. Most of us are civil engineers, so that's our main expertise. So we check for the structure because that's something very serious. It can be repaired depending on the amount of settlement that happened, but it's very costly. I mean, you have to expose the foundation and they dig around the perimeter of the home, inject epoxies in the cracks. It's a big headache. So we check for that. So MEP and structure, that's the key. That is common to any property that we go to. Add to it, in the report, there will be also comment on any cosmetics in pre-handover. We don't do that for resale. Because pre-handover, we always, again, I like to give metaphors. You're going to buy a brand new car from a dealership. You cannot buy it as a brand new car and they tell you, you know what, there's a scratch under the mat. Don't worry about it. It's not visible. There will be a mat. Oh, no, that's not allowed.
You want a perfect condition.
It has to be flawless, right? So that's what we look at. So we, from the tiniest fingerprint on an access panel on a kitchen to a small scratch on a tile or a repaired, corner of a ceramic tile that has been shipped, we mentioned that in the report because it's not allowed.
You have an opportunity for them to put it right for you.
Exactly. So whether the developer will do it or not, and I'll talk about this, why sometimes they cannot get to all the defects that we identify, but we have to mention it. But in resale, we don't care about cosmetic because there's a normal wear and tear that it's allowed.
It's not brand new property.
It's not brand new. So we focus on the other essential fours, which is the MEPs and the structure.
The structure.
That's what matter most in a typical home inspection, basically.